Wow, 2020, what an eventful year. And now it is finally coming to an end. As the year finally draws to a close, let us sit down together and reflect on the ways in which we've grown and the lessons that we've learned from this past year, and think about how we want to move forward. Personally, as a college student, the end of the year has always been associated with assignments and exams. That's literally me finishing up my final essay of the semester. When I was younger, I remember just completely letting go after exams and not actually taking the time to sit down and reflect on what went well during the year, what could be improved upon, or what goals I wanted to set for the new year. But after I started doing this in college, I found that my life has a lot more clarity and I can start every new year with a lot more purpose and direction. And that's why we're going to sit down, do some end of year reflections, and set some new goals for 2021. And if you're wondering why I'm so dressed up, even though I'm literally writing in my journal at home, my answer to that is that sometimes I just like dressing up for myself and just putting in a little bit more effort to make seemingly insignificant events feel a tiny bit more special. So the first thing that we're starting out with is writing down our wins, meaning the highlights and the accomplishments that have happened this year. Given all the negative things that happened to us in our lives, especially in a year like 2020, I think it is so easy for us to just focus on the negative. But I'm sure that there are many things that are positive that have happened this year as well. I know that as human beings, we have a tendency to focus on the bad, and that's why I'm starting out this reflection with a positive reframing. Thinking about all the things in this past year that have gone well, all the things to be grateful for, all the highlights and accomplishments that we've made in spite of all the circumstances that 2020 has presented us. Here are some of my wins. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to learn so much more about many different things, from YouTube to investing to learning Japanese on my own during quarantine, and also having the opportunity to study in person at Yale and US College. I wasn't able to return to Yale for the fall semester, but at the very least, I was able to take classes in person. During quarantine, I think I also inculcated many good habits like journaling consistently, working out, as well as making one YouTube video a week, which I think helped me grow my channel. Generally, when I look back on my year, I realize I have so much to be thankful for. So I'm sure that you have things to be grateful for or proud of for achieving as well. Step 2 in this process is to think about the things that you want to improve on moving into 2021. Here are some of the things that I personally want to improve upon. I want to be a lot more consistent with the habits that I know will get me towards my goals. I definitely want to be more efficient with my work, which means using my phone less during my work time, and find a better balance between structure and leisure. The next part of this is to think about the things in 2020 that you want to keep. Here are some of the things that I definitely want to keep. Making space for things that are not work necessarily, but are still important to me. I want to continue being lighthearted and excited about life, even when it seems like things aren't going great. I want to bring curiosity into every interaction and continue to meet new people and build strong relationships. And of course, as you know, being a lifelong learner is also really important to me. Overall, I think this is just a great reflective process to go through, and I personally want to keep coming back to these sections next year and make sure that I keep doing the things that I find are important to me, as well as work on the things that I want to improve upon. The next section that we're going to be working on is really exciting because this is when we start looking forward into 2021. this is when we start thinking about the goals that we want to set. And honestly, 2020 has not been a year of great goal setting for me. I personally have not been super motivated to achieve many things, but 2021 is going to be a little bit different for me because I am graduating from college. Yes, I have to become an adult, even if I don't want to. And honestly, I'm actually pretty excited about 2021. So I'm looking forward to really hankering down and focusing on achieving these goals that I'm going to be setting in the next couple of sections. This year, I'm going to take a different approach to my goal setting. Last year, I wrote down a whole bunch of goals that I wanted to achieve, but because I had so many things to focus on, I didn't really achieve any one of them to my fullest ability. And so this year, I'm going to be focusing on 2 major goals and breaking them down into smaller goals and accomplishments that I can achieve throughout the year. The first one of those big goals is my finances. Now, I'm going to be graduating in May, and so I really need to start being an adult, meaning that I need to start caring about my money. I've always been conscious and careful about spending, but I think being financially savvy and independent goes a lot deeper than that. It goes into things like how do you budget, how do you invest, how do you set financial goals and work towards financial freedom. And so these are all things that I've been thinking about a lot more, especially as I'm nearing my graduation date. That's why in 2021, I really want to make a bunch of goals that allow me to make strides towards being someone who is financially knowledgeable. As you can see, I'm writing out my goals, but then I'm breaking them down step by step into how I can actually achieve them. That way, it's more clear to me how I'm actually going to achieve my goal. And I think this is really important to do for any goal that you set. As I move throughout the year, I'm going to keep looking back at my goals list and take some of those action steps and implement them in my daily life. For example, one of the sub-goals that I set for myself was to learn more about investing. And how I'm going to do that is to firstly research into more ETFs, which is a type of investment, and then compile a list of ETFs that I could potentially invest in. So in brief summary, here are my financial goals. Firstly, I want to stick to a monthly budget. Secondly, I want to learn more about investing and actually start investing. Thirdly, after I graduate, I want to set long-term financial plans and goals. But I can't really do that right now. I have to wait until I graduate and figure out the amount of money that I'm earning. And fourthly, I want to invest more. These are very broad goals, which is why it's very important to have that how-to step-by-step action process, so I actually know how to work towards my goals. Now, the second big goal that I want to work towards is really hankering down on YouTube. And I'm saying this right now, but I might end up not doing this as well as I want to if senior year gets really crazy. But hopefully, this will be a goal that comes into reality. So here are some of my sub-goals. Firstly, I want to post 1 video a week and really figure out a process of filming and scripting. Secondly, I want to redesign my channel branding because right now I feel like the thumbnails and my fonts are all over the place. Thirdly, I want to diversify the types of videos that I make. And fourthly, I just want to become a more creative and better editor, YouTuber in general. Like, for example, taking more courses that will teach me relevant skills to being a good videographer or editor, completing the YouTube Creator Academy tutorials, and so on and so forth. After writing my goals, I also ended up setting a theme for next year, which is progress and consistency. So there are my end of year reflections and 2021 goal setting sorted. I really hope that you as well sit down, make time for yourself to go through the similar process and reflect and plan for your new year. If you got till here, tell me about some of your goals or New Year's resolutions that you set for 2021. Or if you haven't thought about that, then something that you learned over this past year. Wishing you all a happy and exciting end to 2020. 2021, here we come.